Oof.
Anyway, speaking of which, gentlemen,
Mm.
we need to talk about it. Injuries.
Love this topic. Love it.
Injuries. Frankie, tell us about the worst injury you've ever had.
What? Okay, what haven't I broken? Is the question. All right, I've broken my nose several times from Muay Thai, broken jaw, broken both my hands, broken ribs, broken foot,
Oh.
I guess. Messed up ACLs, clearly a messed up shoulder, messed up back now. But I think my worst must have been I was holding pads for a guy. He was training for a fight. And I said head kick. And he head kicked and he's supposed to hit the mat, but I guess he did like this question mark kick and hit the top of my head and gave me what are those contusions or contusions or what are the hematomas or whatever those things are called. But yeah, that one freaked me out because it was a bump of my head, and I was like, shit. It was pretty good size, about that big, and I thought it was never gonna go down, and it stayed with me for a couple months, man. And then all of a sudden, it started going like smaller and smaller and smaller, and it went away. I was like, holy crap, I dodged that bullet. I was like, God forbid if I go bald. No offense, Thomas. No offense, Thomas. But if I had to shave this bad boy, there was gonna be a big old knot on top of my head.
Yeah. Some of the most dangerous people on this planet are bald. Just saying.
This is true. True.
Yeah. Brian, what about you? Worst injury?
Worst injury. Man, I don't know. I think probably just my hand. I think that's why in February, I think right when we started opening up tournaments in in the Nova area, I did Fuji for the blue belt division, and it was my last match, and I went in for a straight ankle lock. But this guy had my sleeve, but I guess when he had my sleeve, he was kind of like twisting my hand and my wrist at the same time. It was almost like a wrist lock at the same time. We tried to defend the straight ankle lock, and so he tried to roll out. So I rolled with him, and like my hand I just turned with him, and then eventually, I got a submission, but like later on, I think I remember telling you, like, man, like my wrist just does not feel good. My hand doesn't feel good, and everything just hurts so bad. It was swollen and everything. And then I did grappling industries a few months later in April, thinking like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. And then I cracked my hand all the way. I've had an X-ray. I had a crack from like my pinky area down to my forearm, and I was like, well, I'm out for a while.
Dang.
Damn.
And I remember Shugi and Davka and everybody telling me like, dude, just call it. Like don't go anymore. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not gonna quit. I'll go out, I'll get carried out in a stretcher before I ever quit going on the mat. So, but I think I learned a valuable lesson about humility because, what could have been just hey, it's just a tournament. You'll get, with whatever. It doesn't mean anything, but I was out from April to June.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, I was out for a long time.
I've seen those kind of in tournaments, like in videos and stuff like that. Guys grab the lapel and then they just wrap the lapel around the guy's hand, and then they just like, and then the guy's like tapping, and then you see the guy's hand is all like destroyed and stuff like that.
Trying to do like wrist lock. It's like a wrist lock you can do also from that from that, and it's ridiculous. But that's probably the worst one I've had. I mean, who was it? I won't say the name of the person that we trained with at Chantilly, but I remember one time we were training takedowns, and I was like, "Hey, just defend. You just put your hand on your shoulder," and he punched me in the face.
That happens at Chantilly, man. Those guys like hitting people in the face.
I won't tell you who the name of this person was, but he punched me in the face and gave me a black eye. I was like, "Really?"
That's dirty.
It was fun. He didn't mean to, but it was funny, and you know, I showed up to work that then later on that week. They're like, "What happened?" Like, "Yeah, you should see the other guy." Though I'm like, "No, nothing happened to the other guy."
Yeah, when I broke my hand, I did it on someone's elbow.
Ooh.
The guy was defending, and he did this number. And I've seen people hit like elbows, so I tried it. Worst mistake of my life, man. I went pow, and I was like, all right, I gotta stop. And there's no function. There's no function in your hand. Like I mean, you got some functions, but stuff ain't right.
Yeah.
Stuff ain't right.
Ooh, like the worst place to hit somebody.
Yeah, I right here, like right there, just bam. I was like, God, what was I thinking?
I'll go last because I have two stories. But
that was my first. I'm sorry, that was my first thing. But go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Were you done, Frankie? Did you want to continue?
Well, the second one was someone's noggin. I hit him so hard that my hand broke on his head.
Hard thing.